Hey guys, and welcome back to the vlog. Today, I have a treat for you guys. Or at least it's gonna be a treat for me. Because I get to show off a little bit. So as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, that 50 years ago, September 6th, I escaped when I was being transported from Rikers Island to Elmira Reception Center in Elmira, New York. And this is gonna be a pretty long video, and I hope you guys stay because there's a whole bunch of little parts to this story that are really very cool. And that makes me look cool. And anytime I do a video that makes me look cool, I love it because I love showing off. Only kidding, maybe just a little bit. Okay, so I'm celebrating my 50th year of my unbelievable but true escape. So, August 15th, 1972, I got sentenced in Bronx Supreme Court to 4 years. It was what they called an indeterminate sentence. No less than 1 day, no more than 4 years, depending on how your conduct is once you get to a state facility. Okay, so the morning of September 6th, 3 New York City correction officers showed up at Rikers Island Hospital to transport me to Elmira. They introduced themselves to me, told me they was from the transportation division and that we were going upstate. They handcuffed me in front, took me out of the building to an awaiting 1968 Plymouth Fury 1 station wagon. There was 3 correction officers. 2 was in the front seat, 1 was in the back seat with me, and we take off for Elmira. So we make our first stop at Bronx House of Detention, where they picked up 2 other prisoners, 2 Puerto Rican guys, big guys. So when we pull up to the Bronx House of Detention, right on the Major Deegan Highway, 161st Street, River Avenue, I think it is, pull up. Now they take me from the back seat and they put me into the rear seat of the station wagon, which looks out the back window. So I'm sitting in the middle and they get these 2 big Puerto Rican guys and they stick one to my left and to my right. And now I'm sandwiched in. So the correction officer, they were all white. I think they were all Italian guys. He goes, nah, come on, you come with me. And he pulls me out of the car and he sits me in the back seat, right behind the driver, correction officer right next to me, and a correction officer in the passenger front seat of the car. And now we're off. And while we're going, I like to talk. And I had a correction officer, I had a cousin of mine that was a New York City correction officer. He worked in C-76 on Rikers Island, and his name was Eddie Lacey, and all 3 of those cops knew him. I went, wow, I'm in now. And we're driving and we're driving and we're driving. And all of a sudden the car starts to shake. It's shaking. And they're reading my record and I go, oh, you're only gonna do another year. This is all BS. You don't worry about it. You'll be up there for a year, you'll be home next year this time. Okay, but I just came from Rikers Island, which was one of the toughest, roughest penitentiaries in the world. And I was kind of scared going to a state prison because I was a good-looking, blue-eyed, blonde-haired kid, and I'm thinking all kinds of things are going to happen, but nothing could be further from the truth. Rikers Island was the worst prison ever. If you could do time in Rikers Island, you could do time anywhere. Okay, so the car starts to shake, and they go, hey, You know about cars because they read my record as we're going up. That's what they're doing. They're reading my record. They're going, wow, he had a car chase that lasted 98 miles. That's what I got convicted for, reckless endangerment in the first degree. And the police chased me in a stolen car from the 233rd Street in the Bronx to the Catskill Mountains, 98 miles away. 3 cop cars got crashed. Read my book, Cop Without a Badge. It's all in there, first page. Okay, so now they pull over. There's something wrong with it's shaking. It sounds like there's a bubble in one of the tires. I knew that. So they take me out, unhandcuff me, which they shouldn't have did that. And they said, so I looked around, I said, I don't see no bubbles, but it sounds like it's in the car. I know it's something because I hear bump, 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 bump. So I go to the rear of the vehicle, I get under the car, and I could see that's exactly what it was, a big bubble on the inside of the tire. I says, big bubble on the inside of the tire. One of the correction officers, now all these correction officers, these guys are in their mid-40s, early 50s, overweight. They don't want to change no tires. There was no cell phone. He had no radio in that car, nothing. So I go, we got to change the tire. The other 2 correction officers take the other 2 prisoners and they walk them a good 100 feet away onto the sidewalk, put their badge on their neck, take their handguns out, and they got the both of them sitting there because maybe they'll escape. They didn't have to worry about them. They had to worry about me, but they weren't worried about me. So they're so far away, they can't do nothing. So it's a station wagon. So on the side panels, I'm pulling out the jack. And I'm pulling out all the stuff that we need. The base, the jack itself. And now I need a claw bar, a breaker bar. And I don't see it. So one of the cops is kneeling over. His gun is right there. They're 100 feet away. And I could have easily taken the gun and went like that, got in the car, took off, and left all 4 of them, 5 of them, sitting in there. But that wasn't me. That's not how I roll. So, and then he gets up, and he looks under the seat, and he finds the crowbar. And so I start changing the tire. Change the tire, and we're off again. Now we're 28 miles away from Elmira, and they pull off into a gas station. I don't have no handcuffs on. They put the handcuffs back on me in the front, and I go, I have to go to the restroom, and I want to wash up. Look, my hands are dirty. So they go, okay. So I go to get out, and the one correction officer says, no, sit there. You ain't going nowhere. That was his last words. You're not going anywhere. And he and I walk into the bathroom. He walks in first. He opens the door. He walks in first and goes right to the urinal. I walk straight to where there's a partition for the toilet, right? One of them. And he's there. The partition's here. I open it up, and there's an open window. I close it. He gets done peeing. He doesn't know that there's a window in that bathroom. And he goes, okay, I'll wait for you outside. The second that door closed, now I'm 18 years old, and I'm in absolute perfect, I'm probably 150 pounds. I'm in 100% shape. Woo! I dive out the window, just like a cat would dive. I cleared the window, flew out the window, and I landed in a rose bush. And it just tore me. I was bleeding all over the place. And boom, I'm running. Now, for 49 and a half years, I thought that happened in Ithica, New York. That's where I thought I was for 49 years. When my first book was published, I told him the story. I told him that I was in the newspaper. I was on television that night when they captured me. I told him the whole story. And nobody could never find the articles. So they thought, I guess I was full of crap. And I was beginning to think I was full of crap. Until one of my viewers by the name of Kathy from Boston. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for everything that you did. And she was skeptical about two of my stories. And what I didn't know was Kathy was a journalist. And she was saying, well, I don't believe this, and I said that. And so anyway, I said, I wound up on the phone with her. And she was cynical. She didn't believe me. I don't know why, but some of my stories are hard to believe. And I said, why don't you do me a favor? If you're a journalist, why don't you find this out? Check it out. So she did. And guess what? Everything I said, it had to do with the bank robberies, and it had to do with 2 bank robberies that I did. And sure enough, I'm in the paper there, and everything's confirmed. I'm for real. Then she takes it one step further. Then I say, well, if you could find that, none of the fact finders for Carolyn Graff or Simon & Schuster could find the newspaper clippings about my escape. Can you try to do that? I gave her the wrong date. I thought it was August 15th when it turned out to be September 6th. And sure enough, she found it. And here's the article right here. And I know it might be difficult for you guys to read this, so I printed out the newspaper article where I'm going to read how the newspaper said things happened. Some of the things in the newspaper account of what happened that day are not true, and it was because the cops lied. But what else is new? So anyway, again, Kathy, thank you for clearing that up. So for 49 years, I was thinking I escaped in Ithica when it wasn't Ithica. It was Endicott, New York, which is 28 miles from Elmira Correction Facility. So I'm on the loose now. I'm gone. And I'm running around. I have no money. And I'm trying to find a piece of metal where I could steal a car. And I was gone for 45 minutes running around. Helicopters were up. I mean, sirens were going all over the place. State police cars. I mean, holy crap. You think I murdered somebody. This convicted felon from New York City. So, let me read the story of what happened that day. The Evening Press, the Ithica Evening Press, Thursday, September 7th, 1972. Written by Alan, the last name is Koonse, and Leo Griffin, 50 years ago. The firing of 2 shots yesterday by New York City correction officers to apprehend an escaping prisoner in Endicott is being investigated according to the director of the corrections department. So let's stop right there. There wasn't 2 shots fired. There was 6 shots fired. And how do I know? I saw 5 of those bullets hit the wall that I ran towards right in front of me. It was 6. So, okay, so I read that part. So now let me tell you what happened. So now I'm on Washington Avenue in Endicott, New York, which is a busy commercial shop, stores, and it was the next week was going to be, school was opening, so a lot of people were buying school supplies, filled in the street with people. I'm walking down Endicott, Washington Avenue. My arms are covered in blood. And here comes the 3 Keystone cops. and I see them, and I'm walking trying to blend in, and all of a sudden, Kevin, whoom!